We're with Earl LaBonte, Public Works Director for the Town of Clifton Forge, and we're over at the rail yards property that Clifton Forge owns now. And Earl graciously allowed us to go with him and look at the condition of some of the buildings that are planned to be taken down soon. What are we looking at, Earl?
This was the old C&O locomotive shop. Right in there is where they used to work on the old steam engines. And throughout this whole building, one of the issues is you can look, the buildings have deteriorated so badly over the years that they are actually unsafe to be utilizing. You can look at the chimney stack, you can see there's cracks in the brick, and there are bricks that continue to fall off that chimney. This part of the building here, this whole room is asbestos. The wallboard, the roof, it's all asbestos, pressed asbestos products.
So the buildings can't be turned down or taken down?
They have to be cleaned first.
Clean first.
Clean meaning remove the asbestos and any other the hazardous materials. Darlene is trying to work a quote right now or a grant for the asbestos removal. We do have a company online right now that is willing to, after the asbestos is gone, demolish the buildings for the cost or them taking the scrap metal that's within the building. In other words, we'd have a no-cost demolition for us. And all it will cost us is the metal that's obtainable in the building. We can go inside and I can show you some of the metal.
Let's do it. Now, Earl, this is the building that they worked on locomotives?
Yeah, actually the locomotives were worked over there. There's the ramps. We can walk over there too. Actually, once you finish, we'll drive through here. But you can see there is some scrap metal obtainable in here, and there's enough to make it worthwhile for the company to come in and take the buildings down for us. They will not haul the brick and debris away. They will pile it, and then we can use it for various purposes. One is to fill the pits with the brick. We can also possibly use it to fill the old the wastewater plant pits in.
Yeah.
So we're looking at that also. And also there may be vendors that may be interested in acquiring this old brick. Since it's 1930s period brick, there may be some restoration companies that might be interested in acquiring the brick.
Huh.
So we'd be looking at that also.
Earl, what are we looking at here?
We're in the where they used to work on the steam locomotives. They would bring them in through the 2 doors or 3 doors on that side, bring them in, drive them down to the end, and the crew would work on the top from up on these higher platforms, and the other crews would be working on the lower carriages from within these lower pit areas. You can see the lighting units that they used to have to light up. So it was
and it just came to the point where you didn't need this kind of a facility for the diesels.
Right. They stopped. The steam engines went out. When the steam engines went out, they relocated their locomotive maintenance shops to other locations, and this location was no longer necessary as it was tooled for steam engines versus the diesel engines.
Earl, what are we looking at here?
We're in part of the shop areas next to where the main office was, and if you look at the floor brick, this area had a wooden floor put in here, and the purpose was for the people when they're standing on the floor, it was easier on their feet and their backs to be on wood versus being on the concrete. As you can see, those blocks are starting to come up, but this was a wooden work surface for the employees for better work conditions for them, I guess.
And as you've noticed in our little tour of the building, there was some copper in here, but it looks like it's disappeared. So it looks like a few thieves have made it onto the property over the period of years.
Quite a bit had left prior. We started monitoring the building more closely and had the police checking more frequently. So in the last year, there hasn't been as much, but we do know that persons unknown had been in here removing various metals out of the building, copper, wiring, copper piping, and general metal.
Here, Earl, we can't go any further for a reason.
No, we don't go any further than this location because this is where the chimneys, as they fall off the brick off the chimney falls through the roof. You can see various brick debris laying on the ground. You can see where the roof's been deteriorated. Even up there where some pieces have hit the roof. And they come down and they fall into here. So
now, these aren't standard brick. These are much substantially larger.
They're chimney brick.
Chimney brick.
Special. They're kind of semi-rounded, and they're narrower at one end than the other end. You can see a couple of them over there, the way they lock together.
Let's take a look at them.
Oh, there's one right there.
Oh, there's one right there. Okay.
But they lock together, and they're in the chimney. There's usually more than one layer.
Oh, they lock together.
Yeah.
Here we go. What do we? Where are we now?
We're now at the round table, and what this is used to, when the locomotives come in to be worked on, they could switch them from track to track to track to take them into the building, or to park them over there out of the way, because there were several spokes over there also. Now there's only the 2 tracks remaining going into the building. We also have a spur line from here that we own that comes from the CSX property into here. But this is the round table, and if you come over, I'll show you.
Do that again.
Well, there's trees here, so we'll go back the other
Okay.
way.
And we're seeing the round table work. Earl, what are we looking at here? This is the back of the round table.
We're at the round table, and if you look over to that side, you can see where all these different spokes were, and they were labeled like track 16, track 17, track 14, load box east, load box west.
So they had a lot of options to be able to move things around.
This thing had spur lines coming off of it all the way around it, at least 3/4 of it. And more than likely, those box west and east connected over on the other side of that large building over there.
Wow.
But as you can see, most of the trackage is gone in here now.
Going back to the area where the steam boilers were, and Earl, you said something about the brick?
Well, have a look at the brick. You can see that it's period brick. So, given the right people who are doing certain restoration projects, they would probably be interested in acquiring this brick. Not sure, but there's always that potential. Might be. We may have somebody interested in it. So when the buildings come down, the brick is going to be stored. But
Nice archway.
yeah, most of the time people don't want the brick unless it's clean, and we won't have the capability of cleaning them.
I see.